Everybody, Scott George again, and this is another episode of the Wolf and the Network. You see, I shaved my beard off, getting ready for next week. I just want to have a quick conversation about the idea of privacy and consent and the way that Nova Scotia Health Authority's delusional view of the topic, right? Like, I did educate their employees on 184 in the criminal code, which is basically people refer to it as the one-party consent law. It's regarding your right to be able to record. And Nova Scotia Health Authority falsely asserted that I had no right to record their doctors in one-on-one sessions because of their privacy, when right in their own privacy law, that is false. The director of privacy, right in the stuff that she signed off on, replied and lied about it. And then I sent that back and she's like, I don't have to answer you. After I asked for their privacy policy and they couldn't provide one. Right? It's actually really bad. Really, really, really bad. Right? As I'm sitting there cool, calm, collected, asking for policy, I've got all this evidence saying I'm being denied a lawyer. Right? Now, this is on... So, if we jump forward to March 13th, 2023, when Nova Scotia Health Authority retaliated and had me arrested after I filed complaints with Halifax Regional Police. See, here's the important part. Nova Scotia Health Authority is claiming I can't prove that I didn't consent to blood work in the CT scan that night, so it's my problem. I asked Nova Scotia Health Authority to then prove that I did consent. They can't. Right? So, how does that work? I just have no rights because I'm just retarded, so I must just be retarded, right? Nova Scotia Health Authority can then always say that you can't prove you can never consented, so we can just do whatever we want. Right? So this comes back into your right to be able to record, because that is inside of that conversation, or those conversations with your doctor, you are consenting to serious procedures. And if Nova Scotia Health Authority is coming back literally in here and saying it's up to me to prove consent, well then you need to be able to record your doctor, right? Right, because how else can you prove consent? Or the doctor should be providing a form that shows you clearly consent. It should not be up to you, right? There should be just no implied consent. Nova Scotia Health Authority has to be clear on the matter. And you'll see why this matters. Because I presented all the evidence on March 13th. I said on my bias, 70%. I said about how I was abused with Nova Scotia Health Authority and I'm being falsely arrested. I said, look, this is really bad. I suffered a lot of abuse. You're retaliating after I just filed a complaint with Halifax Regional Police. I've already been denied a lawyer. The officers are saying this shouldn't be anywhere near you. They called 3 different offices asking why you people are making them do this. When I showed the officers just outside the evidence, they were shocked. It's all sitting here on my phone. So, just for fairness, I would like to record so IPTA can be based on facts and evidence. Right? So I can record any type of consent or anything like that. She said no, and if I do, I'll just be locked up. That's right. She then closes the door and completely fabricates a fraudulent record. And I admitted my bias and everything. Here's what I said to her. I said, okay, I understand. You think you're telling me I'm obviously making this up. Okay. So maybe if you just clarify a single part, because I'm a global technical expert, maybe I can just clarify a part for you. And she's like, well, I don't know. Think about that. Didn't want to record. All this evidence exists. She's saying, I don't know, closes the door. Now I have no proof of anything. I'm just a retard. She can't prove anything, but I've got all this evidence. The officer was so concerned, he literally looked at her and said, I got to talk to you outdoors for a minute. Any rational, decent human being would be. So, you've got one situation where Nova Scotia Health Authority is blaming me, saying to prove consent. Here I'm trying to prove consent and be a rational human being, while I am literally educating Nova Scotia Health Authority on their own policies, because I'm a technical expert. I was nice about it, polite about it, never bothered any of the staff, and look what they did. So Nova Scotia Health Authority is just using this as an argument for convenience. Right? Then what Nova Scotia Health Authority did after March 13th, put me in a room for over 24 hours with 2 recording cameras. Absolutely no consent. All of this can be subpoenaed by my abusers. My family were so concerned about it, they're like, why did they got you in a room with 2 cameras? And I told them what I told the officers, RCMP, when they said, why are they making us do this? Because they are facing multi-million-dollar litigation. The HRP officers who've seen the evidence, why are they doing this? Because they are facing multi-million-dollar litigation. I'll tell you right now why they're doing this. because they're facing multi-million-dollar litigation. They needed to frame me. They knew they were in a lot of trouble, and this is the culture of abuse, bigotry, prejudice, and bias at Nova Scotia Health Authority. Blatant fraud and retaliation. And given that they're being protected by the college and that they're lying to such a degree when the fraud is so blatant and the culture of fraud is so blatant, shows you why these monsters thought they could get away with this, because there is no accountability. To that system, I am nothing. Literally, if you go through the Charter of Rights, a cattle literally has more rights in Canada than I do. Right? I was like a meat. I wasn't a human being. I was there to be process tagged. That is it. And these people's records absolutely match that. It's why it doesn't include lawyers or the conflict of interest or any of it. Because I was just a piece of shit to be processed. Nova Scotia Health Authority are objective frauds. They can't even answer a basic question. I asked them what I've asked everybody. How did my GPS get set to 9330, Highway 7, Stillwater, Nova Scotia? Why are there pictures of the registered owner at J.D. Irving? What are these associations with SCL Group, Cambridge Analytica? How is any of this clear that I'm retarded? It's not at all. So how can they write in a record that it's clear I'm just delusional about something as I'm sitting there cool, calm, collected and have all this evidence? You would think that these people would be able to provide what is so clear about this and answer such basic questions, wouldn't you? That's right, because it isn't based on facts, evidence, or due process. Right? It's not based on my human dignity. Are you kidding me? This is based on these monsters and failures not being able to face what they are when you strip away their guns, money, and blind authority. And me, like so many others, are paying the price for them living their lives as failures. Well, look what they would do to me. But they don't even deserve to have to face their delusion after they torture me, frame me, slander me, and defame me. That they shouldn't even have to face it or answer a basic question when they know they're wrong. That is a fundamental piece of shit for a human being. Anyways, that's a review of the privacy law, and it's just to give you an idea of my feelings with Nova Scotia Health Authority. The amount of fraud being displayed by staff in the college is amazing. Right? Well documented. It is what it is. So anyways, Canada, take care. Nova Scotia, good night. And yeah, see you later.